I'm Ben. I'm the vocalist for Goatwhore, and basically extreme metal band. Let's see. When I was growing up, it was kind of like a different terrain of musical influences, you know, ranging from punk, hardcore, metal. I was kind of like into a lot of different things. I used to skateboard when I was younger, not so much now, but you know, from things from like Judas Priest to Black Flag to Testament, you know, it would vary. It would be a whole bunch of different things. It was funny because when I was growing up, I mean, even still today, we have, you know, different mixtures of, you know, like a crowd that just likes one style, like a death metal crowd or the hardcore crowd. And when I grew up, I was just kind of varying about the things I liked, you know. I liked Motorhead or the Dead Kennedys or, you know, things like that. It didn't really bother me that much with the mixture. And I think as it went along and being involved in a band like Goatwhore, everybody kind of labels it in a black metal, you know, category, but it does have a lot of different variations internally within extreme music styles. And I think, you know, those things, they kind of benefit a band. It's almost like the idea of when I was younger, they had the whole crossover movement with DRI kind of clashing the like metal, hardcore kind of thing. And even bands today do it like in a more modern sense. So it was, you know, just those little elements. And the first band I ever got into was kind of like a more of a death metal band. And then from there, I kind of evolved into different things and doing different other projects. But I listened to a lot of other different things outside of metal as well, like Queen and, you know, things like that. So.
And this death shall be the domain for the followers of the crucified one. Instead of victory in the hearts with dead bodies at our feet.
It was before. It was around before I kind of got in the band for a couple of years. Sammy and the drummer then Zach, which is a different Zach that we currently have. We've had two different drummers, and him and Zach had a band, and it was more of like a necro kind of grind death kind of band, and it evolved into basically what Goatwhore is. And there was a bar fight one night, and Sammy got his jaw broken. And I was a friend of his, and I kind of offered for my help because they had some shows and stuff. And I got into the band, and, you know, from there just kind of worked into place. And after his jaw healed and everything, I kind of stuck in the band. And, you know, we went through the cycle of members and everything until this point. Me and Sammy have been in it pretty much, I guess, since the inception of it and everything. And, like, we have a drummer named Zach now. He's the second drummer, but still the same name. And then we have James, who plays bass, and he came into the fold a little bit after carving out the Eyes of God. So, you know, just like any other band nowadays, you kind of have some member shifts and some things kind of change here and there. Oh, man. There's a lot, man. I mean, it can range from playing a little small hole-in-the-wall venue and people are going completely fucking insane to playing, you know, something like this past summer we did like heavy TO and heavy MTL, you know, playing on a huge stage in front of mass amounts of people. You know, all those kind of situations are really interesting. And actually this year too, there's a HBO series called Treme. It's kind of about New Orleans. And they mentioned us on a couple of episodes, and some guy was in a car in a scene and they were playing the music over the stereo and stuff. So, you know, you have little steps along the way, you know, and necessarily like when you ask the question about, you know, the things that you know, excelled with in your career, you know, these little things kind of pop up, but you don't really get all of them into the perspective. But that's just to name a few, you know, you go through all these different variant things, from the smallest thing to the biggest, coolest thing that you do. There's just a lot of different variations that go on there. Yeah, the latest full length came out in February, actually on Valentine's Day. And we didn't plan that or anything. It just kind of fell into place. And the name of the record is Blood for the Master. It came out through Metal Blade Records. And, you know, just like when we do any record, we kind of hit the road and stay on there as much as possible. We're kind of pulling back a little bit more this time and trying to be a little bit more choosy about tours and kind of present ourselves in front of different audiences. You know, even within extreme music, you know, the audiences vary. You know, even like us touring with Cannibal Corpse would be a total different crowd than us touring with High on Fire. I mean, we'll have our fans that come out, but then, you know, you have the fans from those bands, and they're not always the same, which is unique within like metal and hardcore and everything. You can play these different tours, and you can go out for like 4 months out of the year and play from front of different crowds each time. So, you know, it's just, you know, some bands would be totally against it and not willing to do it, but, you know, we feel we have different things to offer, and we could play within any kind of range of extreme music. Just an evolution of the band. You know, we don't, when we go in to do each record, we don't like try to have this like huge thing built up. Like, okay, you know, our last record did this, and, you know, we have to, you know, fans like this, the press said these things about these songs, you know, that's what we have to focus on. We kind of write each record accordingly, like fresh and to things that we really like and what we really enjoy to play. We don't try to let any stress, outside stress or anything like that affect it. We just go in on a straight head and just work from there and just start building ideas. And we'll put together whole structures, and then, you know, by the end of it, something's just not right. It doesn't feel right when we're playing it. And from that point, we know if we do it in a live setting, it isn't going to come across proper. So we just kind of throw it to the side, tear it apart, maybe restructure it to our pleasing, and then work it from there. Blood for the Master, for me, there's more of an element of it, like, a lot of people would view it because of what kind of band we are and like the whole topical sense about some of our songs and lyrics and everything. But it's like universal within everything we've done. To me, it's like all the years we spent, put our blood and sweat and everything that we did, you know, and it was just like the music is like the master. It's the force behind the drive that we keep striving for within what we're doing. I think it's just like the evolution and the growth of what Goatwhore is. You know, it's us evolving both in playing and maturity as a band, and, you know, it doesn't really predict the future, because as you go along, people get different influences, they get different ideas, and things change. But I think it's an element, like, in the whole layout of each record, it falls into the next step. And for me, each record, like, is a step. When you look back, some bands look back and they kind of forget about their older records. We still put like older songs in the set. We still talk about the older records, and it's all like a growth thing. It all has this aspect of growth and the cycle of what the band is and what they're becoming and what they're evolving into. Oh, that's a hard one, man. I don't even know if it came out this year or not. It's All Pigs Must Die. That release is just, it's like devastating. There's just something about it. It's not even like in the vein of anything we do, but it's just, sometimes when bands do a record, they can be huge or they can be small. You know when they put like, it's like personal effort into it. It's like untapped. There's like a feeling about it, and that record just, it's fucking phenomenal. Life is to pursue to do what the fuck you want when you want and enjoy it. Pretty much.
Superior forms of bloodshed lead the way for this disease.
This is gonna sound really good, man.